Hey, thank you for that introduction. My name is Brian Richey, and I'm a Technology Solutions Senior Director at Microsoft, overseeing a team of solution architects. And I'm really excited to talk to you here today at the Avalara Next conference, both based on my background from an SI perspective, but also because partners are the lifeblood of Microsoft. So enabling partners and making sure they're successful is top of mind. And before I pass it over to Angela and team to talk through the details of Avalara's integration with Dynamics 365, I just kind of wanted to level set when we think about partners at Microsoft, how we think about them. So, when we think about it at the highest level, right, Microsoft is in the unique position of being both one of the largest cloud providers on the planet from an IaaS and a PaaS perspective, but also a vendor of SaaS business applications. That's actually pretty unique when you start looking through it. And we're also in a very unique position because, give or take, we have a commercial relationship with every industry, business, and government entity on the planet. It's a lot to think about. So when you start peeling back the onion about the prototypical application footprint for a given industry, their cloud maturity, our entry point into the account, it gets very, very complicated very quickly. So, one thing we can't do as Microsoft is we can't service every one of those permutations with first-party solutions for every requirement. It's just not going to happen. So that's exactly why we provide a great platform for ISVs to come and close that last mile from a functionality and software perspective. And speaking from my personal experience working for a systems integrator, how all of those pieces come together, the Microsoft solutions and the ISV solutions and the customer's existing footprint, that's really the difference between a happy customer and an unhappy one, right? One who realizes value and one who just kind of limps along. So, that's why I'm super excited to participate in today's session at Avalara Next. I think Avalara takes a very nuanced and tech-forward approach to their platform, and how it fits with Microsoft and those other typical applications like e-commerce applications or POS or others. So, whether you're, today an SI looking to understand how to make everything play together at one of your clients, or you're an architect for another application looking to get closer into the Microsoft ecosystem, this session will give you some ideas about what's possible with third-party solutions in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Angela and team, and they're going to take you through the integration. Angela?
Brian, thank you for that excellent kickoff to our session today. My name is Angela Goldsmith. I'm a Senior Manager of Product Management in our Global Integrations team, and I work with our engineering teams that develop and maintain our Microsoft integrations. I've been working in the integration space for well over 25 years now at this point for ERP, CRM, e-commerce, and numerous other platforms over my career. And I love the challenge and the new horizons that working in the integration space affords us, especially when you add in the nuance of tax around the globe. And with that, I'll hand it over to Devesh, our Senior Manager on Engineering. Devesh, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience today?
Yep, thank you, Angela. So I'm Devesh Kasat, Senior Engineering Manager for our Microsoft Dynamics Platform Integration team. Been with Avalara for 13 years now. My complete experience is 17 years throughout in Microsoft Dynamics platforms only. I started Avalara with developer for Dynamics GP, then learned AX Navision, and then moved to D365 world. We get a lot of opportunities to explore all the technology stack in Microsoft platform. What keeps me excited here is like taxes are very complex in any ERP system for that matter, right? So we deal with taxes day in and day out, and we make our customers' life easy by making sales tax less taxing. With that, I'll hand it over to Sachin. Sachin, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Sachin. I'm working with Avalara since 2012 in a development team of Microsoft Integration, wherein we do the API calls and use the latest technology stack to integrate our Avalara API for Microsoft integrations. And in this, I'm going to talk about how the Avalara is integrated with Microsoft integrations endpoints, and I will help you out with the integrating your custom app throughout the session. I hand
Thank
over
you.
to Angela.
Thank you, Devesh and Sachin. So let's talk about our library of available integrations for Microsoft. So we currently support a number of the Dynamics 365 solutions: finance, project operations, Business Central, commerce, and the e-commerce add-on for commerce, sales, and field service, as well as some of our older but still maintained integrations to the legacy on-prem solutions of Dynamics GP and Nav. So we've been at this a while, and we continue to expand the functionality in these integrations, as well as add new ones as Microsoft affords new platforms and new opportunities to its customers and partners. With that, I'll have Devesh talk to you about our alignment with Microsoft and Avalara releases.
Yeah, as an ISV, right, we get an early access to any platform which Microsoft releases, and we all of us know, right, Microsoft releases two major release in a year called spring release and fall release. We follow that pattern with Microsoft. We make sure that our builds are available as soon as Microsoft make them available to their customers as a general availability. Our connectors for any ERP for that matter, whether it is D365 Finance, Commerce, Business Central, we have our build releases as soon as Microsoft makes them GA to all their customers. So this release cadence we follow for all our Microsoft platforms.
And now you're going to take us into our integration approach.
Yep. So yeah, as I said, as Angela walked us through that, we have integration on various different platforms for Microsoft, whatever platform it may be, right? Our integrations architecture is similar across all the platform. It divided across three different components. One is ERP, one is Avalara integration, and Avadex engine, right? All things happen real time. We integrate on top of all the Microsoft platforms. So it all starts, we sit on ERP platform, whether it is finance and operations, Business Central, commerce, or any older platform like GP or Navision, right? Whenever user creates transaction, it all starts with user creating a transaction, right? So it all starts here. User creates transaction, whether they hit sales tax button, statistics button, or save button, depends on which ERP you are integrating with. We collect that transactional data through our connector, through our integration, right? And we form a request, which is an REST-based request, API request for our service. We form that request based on all the transactional data we have from the transaction. We send it to Avalara for tax calculation, right? This is an Avalara service where we does all the tax calculation based on the content we have, right? Once we get a response back, it is again an API response. We handle that response and it is displayed back in the ERP, whatever ERP you might be, right? It might be a sales tax window in finance and ops. It might be a statistics window in Business Central, or it might be a tax details in Dynamics GP, right? Once we get a response back and user post that transaction from sales order to invoice in an ERP, we make another API request with that document so that it is committed on Avalara's side. So we form the request again, it goes to Avalara. We get a response back that yes, it is being committed on Avalara's side, right? And finally, we get a response back on ERP that yes, it is committed and we are good to go. So this is an overall integration. Again, it is independent of any ERP you are integrating with, whether it is finance and ops, Business Central, or commerce. Integration is same across all the platforms.
And now, Sachin, you're going to talk us through the integration piece.
Yes, thank you, Devesh, for the integration overview. In this part of session, I'll be talking about 2 points. The first is how Avalara is integrated with base app and how the custom app is integrated with Avalara. As part of this Avalara integration, we expose few endpoints which can be used by a custom app to cater the customization requirement. Let's take an example where the customer wants to push few transactions to company default and few transactions to now_R2. This can be handled with the help of custom app. What Avalara does here is like they form a request JSON in this particular formation, wherein they consider the transaction details from the transactions, whether it contains a customer details or the origin address or the destination address. Everything will be packed inside your request JSON and it will be exposed to a an endpoint, which is Avalara endpoint here. And then in this particular example, again, we will be consuming that JSON in custom app. And here a custom app can have a logic implemented, which can differentiate your which transaction is to push to default company and which transaction is to push to nav underscore company. And this is applicable throughout your Microsoft integration points, wherein you can have your base app integrated to your Avalara integration, and that again integrated to your custom application. In this particular slide, it tells you about how Avalara is integrated with the base application. Here in this highlighted section, we can see that we have consumed a Microsoft event of name page sales order, wherein we are focusing on the particular event call, which is nothing but on before statistics action. That means whenever the statistic operation is done by the user, Avalara comes in picture and it will do the tax calculation part. And as Devish was explaining us, everything will be updated back to the ERP. In this session, particular about Business Central. And in next slide, we are going to talk about how the custom app will be utilizing Avalara endpoints. As I was talking, Avalara do the exposure of endpoints. In this particular example, I can see that Avalara valid call is exposed with the help of coordinate object type. And we are going to use a publisher event, which is nothing but this, wherein I can see there are parameters published by this particular event, wherein I can see the sales header is here. I can see the JSON object here, and I can again send whether I have modified the JSON or not. I get a complete exposure to the sales header and again to the sales JSON, which is formed by the Avalara. Here, a custom app can modify any of the entities which is formed in the JSON particle. Now in next slide, we are going to see how the pre-recorded example will help us to understand how the Business Central integration is using the Avalara application along with the custom application. And this is again applicable for all the Microsoft ERPs, what we have under the Microsoft Dynamics umbrella.
Hello.
Angela, can you
welcome to
play?
demo. Here we are going to talk about Microsoft Business Central Avalara integration, and we are going to cover 2 points. First one is how Avalara app is integrated to the Microsoft event, and another is how a custom app can be subscribed to the Avalara event. In this particular example, we are going to talk about Avalara app integration and how those are written in the code, and how a custom app can be utilized by the partner or the customer to subscribe to the Avalara event. Let's switch to the Visual Studio. In this particular studio window, I can share this information wherein how the Avalara is integrated to the Microsoft event. This is Avalara coordinate, and we are going to subscribe to Microsoft event of page name sales order, and this is the event name on before statistics action. That means whenever the user click on the statistics operation on a transaction, the Avalara code comes in picture. For a demo, I added this line. You can ignore this line for actual implementation. Whenever code hits this particular event, Avalara core logic comes and talks to the Microsoft app, wherein it does the tax calculation part. In this particular function, we do the tax calculation, wherein we form the request, we talk to Avalara services, and once the response is received, we update those details back to the Business Central table. Once that is done, there are some example or some partners we have seen, they want to modify the events to cater the business requirement. Let's talk about the example wherein the custom app wants to update a company code to push a transaction from a default company to the nav underscore R2 company. And this can be done with the help of this particular code. I'm switching back to the code wherein this is my custom app, and I'm going to subscribe to an Avalara event, and this is a publisher event provided by Avalara, and all the details are mentioned in system integration document. And if I search for this event is available out of the box, wherein you can do your tax calculation and you can modify your JSON request, which is passed in this parameter. You can update any of this nodes with the help of the same function. You can update your customer code, you can update your company code, and any of the parameters which are available here. And that is again applicable for your line modifications also. In this given example, I'm going to modify the company code, wherein I will remove the node company code from the JSON and I will update a node with a new value. Let's see with the help of demo. This is my Business Central environment, wherein I will show you the extension management. Here the Avalara app is installed, but my custom app, which is a test app, is not installed on this machine. If I create an order with the default setting from my Avatex configuration, the system should push a transaction to a default company. Let's go back to the sales order and create one sales order here. I use 10,000 as a customer and 1896 as my item with the one quantity and 1,000 unit price. As we have already subscribed to the statistics event, I'm going to click on this event. In the backend, the Avalara subscriber was using the publisher event of Microsoft, and it is done. My tax calculation is 80, and I can see the company code as a default. Let's go back to the extension management and install the custom app. Now with the help of logic implemented, it should push to the nav_r2 company. I'm going to create the same new transaction with the 10,000 customer. Before going ahead, I will show you again the Ava configuration, which contains the default company code. I'm back to the sales order, same item with one quantity and 1,000 amount. Just clicked on the statistics. My first event message is from Avalara integration, and second is from my custom app, which is subscribed to the Avalara event. And now I can see my company code is shifted from default to nav_r2. This is how a customer can modify any of the event node available here. And the details are available on the Swagger and even on the document, which is system integration document. And we release this document on each and every release of Microsoft Business Central. This is applicable for other Microsoft product also. Thank you for watching this video.
And thank you all for attending our session on extending our Microsoft integrations by Avalara. There are additional resources available to you if you come download our presentation after the conference has ended. There are links in another slide following this one to show you how to locate the system integration documents, as well as another example video showing our methodology and approaches to extending Dynamics 365 Finance. We encourage you to come grab these resources and jumpstart your development against our integrations. Thank you for attending. And if you have any questions, please do throw those in the chat. We'll follow up with you after the conference ends, and enjoy the rest of Avalara Next. Thank you.